Hey, Yellow Button. Okay. Welcome to Let's Read It. And this week we're discussing what the heck was the name of the episode?
Last night's episode, the season premiere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. What I loved is that we started out at the paddy truck, right, in the highway with Daryl, Abe, and Sasha, right? Isn't that the girl's name?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're in Patty, remember, the fuel truck. And then there's Negan's motorcycle riders. And I love the lead, but well, he's dead now, but I totally dug the lead motorcycle guy because he had such a twisted sense of humor. And he goes to Daryl first, right? Daryl gives him his pistol. And then he goes to Sasha, and she gives it to him. And when he goes to Abe, Abe doesn't hand on his pistol, right? And do you remember what he said, Jason? What the guy said to Abe?
Can I say the S word on this chat?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna eat shit, you best do it not slow.
It's best not to nibble.
Yeah,
Yep.
not nibble.
And what were the things he told him? Bite, chew, swallow, repeat. And I love Sasha goes, "Who are you people?" Right? That just cracked me up. And then he called Abe a ginger. That was so wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how are you going to call Abe a ginger?
Oh. And then he makes fun of his dress blues. I was like, oh my God, you are just asking to die. Make the dead.
Now,
I kind of called it on there as I did a little voice thing, like do some death predictions or any type of predictions, and near the middle of it, I was talking about Daryl's gonna knock out the guy that took him around Patty, and then he's gonna get the RPG and blow up the whole group, and then what I know, it happened.
Oh, see? Maybe you have like ESP. You nailed it.
Yeah.
well, me and Jason have kind of sort of read the graphic novels a little bit.
Yep.
So, I mean, I knew they were going to die.
Yeah.
But there was supposed to actually be a couple of them that survived, wasn't they?
Or just one of them that survives, and that guy goes back to Negan and tells him about that group.
Yeah.
Well, Negan's going to know they are missing, you know what I mean? Now, what I loved is when the lead motorcycle guy, right, tells T, his biggest guy, to go to the back of the truck. Remember how you're going to give me everything? Check behind the back bumper.
Yeah.
And so then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I wish he would have taken Abe. But because I got a crush on Daryl. So then, yep, and then it's real quiet back there. He just sent one guy. That kind of blew my mind,
Underestimated.
Well, Daryl's a
Yes.
little guy.
Yep. I have to mute. Hang on one second.
He sent T, which is a big dude, against Daryl, who's a little guy.
Yes.
So, no, he didn't think there was going to be no problem. I mean, Daryl wasn't even armed.
Oh.
Well, you've seen those big guns he has, those that are cannons.
One in each hand.
And me and Oily was discussing this. We knew you was going to be hard to handle the day after you got to watch Daryl fire his rocket.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And then he saved the whole town. Daryl was the whole savior. Oh my God! So my love is even deeper.
It started with a bang and ended with a bang.
Yes, it did. Now, what I loved is when he refuses to ask questions, right? Sasha asks questions. Abe tells her, shut up, right? Quit talking. Of course, she won't do it because she's a woman. And then when he teases him, right, like I was going to shoot you, but now I'm not. And then she's like, you don't have to do this.
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
And my heart was just pounding because I didn't want to lose either one of them, but I was just happy Daryl was hopefully alive behind the truck.
Yeah.
She's talking about
And
just
then when-
wait.
And then when he decides to do that, he's like, wait. I won't shoot you. Oh, wait. You know what? I think I will, and that's.
Yeah.
And then he raised him, right? And it was like, oh my God. And then my Studley Darrell, it so shocked me when those motorcycles blew up.
Yeah.
It took me a minute, right?
I figured, it was taking a while, so I was thinking Daryl might have overtook the other guy and snuck into the trees and ambushed, come around him and ambush
Yes.
from behind. I thought he was going to do that, and that's what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting them to all go flying into bits and pieces into the air.
Exactly, and I thought we're still gonna lose. And then the epic line from Abe, right, is the guy's head's laying in the road smoking. He could nibble
Yeah.
on that. And then Sasha's kind of going like they got little bits and they couldn't hear. Remember?
Now what? I liked Abe's homage to his "Who's Deanna?" Like
Who's me?
Grit Biscuit out there says Daryl is a, well, I won't use the F word, but badass, and said he wishes he was Daryl.
Ooh, Grit, if you were me and you, honey. Yeah, it was. It was just absolutely outstanding. And then my favorite thing that Daryl says is he was tougher than he looks, right? About the big guy.
Yeah.
And then Sasha goes, "Did he stab you?" And he goes, "A little bit."
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Like,
Not a big deal.
alright, 'tis a flesh wound.
Yes. Oh, and it's pouring down his arm. But my God, and then it made me remember it was a deep episode, slow moving with Abe and Sasha waiting on Daryl, remember? And um, Abe went and found that RPG hanging on the soldier, hanging off the side of the bridge, and just by chance having that for Daryl to use.
Hey, Mouse.
Yes.
You know that motorcycle that was in the front of all of them?
Yes.
I watched a guy on YouTube. They actually replicated his motorcycle.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah. That's one of the, 8 or 9 that he's got.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Now then we go to a commercial and my heart was just pounding, but I was worried they weren't even gonna address the the Daryl and Sasha and Abe in the road, like it would be way later or not address it at all, and we'd just be in Alexandria with Rick and his Jesse crazy crew walking among them. But after the commercial, we go to that, right? They're being completely quiet, and we hear the zombies growling. Oh my God, it was scary.
Yeah, but that was the cool part. Is it was so quiet that you could hear the zombies growl.
Yes.
I liked it.
I know you could imagine walking in that. And then he leads them off to the side, Rick, and he says, "We got a new plan. We're not going to the armory. We're going to get vehicles and lead the walkers away." And I was like, okay, yeah, no? Are you stupid?
Uh-oh. Turn your AO down.
I am.
I wonder what ever happened about the Sam calling for his mom. They didn't address that in this one.
No. We didn't. I was waiting any minute to hear mom, mom, mom. They just act like it didn't happen because we all assumed they died right after that, right, Chase?
Yep. And then later he goes into the I've heard. Have you seen the Talking Dead? Did you watch that at all?
Yes.
They did it on that one because the lighting was the best, so they did it during the nighttime, so it won't be continual or whatever that word is.
Continuity.
Yeah, continuity.
And they needed the fire to be at night, right, in the pond? How about when the Reverend says he'll take Judith to the church, which I forgot was in the garage of the house, and then when he walks off, but he was so firm in telling Rick that he would protect her, But when he walked off, oh God, because I don't really like Judith or having the baby there. You know, I don't care if she dies, but it was still intense, right?
Yeah, I had a major sinking feeling when he was walking off. I was like, I don't trust him. I cannot believe Rick just did that. Let
No.
him take Judith.
With
Did you
the
see
way it
Mich-
was wishy-washy, you'd think that, oh, Judith is zombie bites.
Yeah, did you see Michonne's eyes? Look at him like, is you out your mind? It's terrible. So, oh God. And then, how about Carl, when they start to walk off, he has to initiate taking Ron's hand, and they start walking off again. But first, Jesse doesn't make Sam go with the Reverend. Doesn't make him, and the kid is clearly unhinged, you know?
Now, if he'd went with the Reverend, considering where the church was, he probably could have got there easier and faster, so he wouldn't have been freaking out so bad.
Exactly. And then have out Carol's words echoing in the little psycho's head. Oh my God, just to keep him from telling him that she broke into the armory and took some guns.
You mean Carol?
Carol, yes, Carol, I love that.
Yeah.
She totally got into that kid's head. And, I had kind of thought, because I haven't read the graphic novels, so I don't know if any of these characters, that her little family was in there. But I was just waiting for the mom and the older brother to end up dead, and I just had pictured that Carol would end up raising that kid. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because he'd attached himself to her. So.
That's what I was like, oh
Sam
my God.
Sam isn't in the comic books, by the way. It's just Ron.
Daryl isn't either.
No.
Sasha's not.
Who's not, Tommy?
Sasha.
Sasha, right. But see, go ahead, Jace.
Sasha is portraying Andrea in the comics now.
What I liked is in the Talking Dead with that over-caffeinated Chris Hardwick, he was the director, producer, whoever, said that Daryl was going to be a very short-lived character, but it was immediately recognizable to them what he brought in portraying that character. So they built things around him, because I think Daryl is the cat. Not just that because in real life he's not that good looking, slanty eyes, but his character, and he's sexy, and he's quiet, he's got the build like a cowboy, the little guy, little wiry guys you always gotta watch out for. But how integral he's become to the whole show, that I can't imagine it without Daryl.
He's kind of become, that's what I was thinking, he's almost what Rick was in the first couple of seasons. He's kind of become that, the one that a lot of them look to kind of save the day, kind of a thing,
Yeah, just like when he went running to Carol after she blew up Terminus, when he hugged her, and remember, Carol's the most epic character ever, because we've watched an abused, cowering woman, and she represents older women for me, gray hair, and she can hold her own, to get that done, and they have that connection. And now he disagrees with Rick. He doesn't have to overtalk it. Rick will be like, you disagree? And he'll go, yep. But he doesn't have to beat it up. He just goes, I don't agree.
I don't care who you are. I think Carl's the best of them out of all of it.
Listen, Carl gets on my last nerve, because Carl was never in his dang room when he was supposed to be in his dang room when they lived at the farm. Carl, go to your room. Carl was never in his room. But I know what you mean, Meg. And he's a young character.
Carl is my all-time favorite character. He is a gun-toting, pudding-eating, one-eyed son of a gun.
You and Carl, Tommy, have just bonded over this number 10 can of pudding eaten while a zombie's stuck in the window.
Oh, you know it.
Yes. Now, I liked when they cut to Tara and Rosita, and Tara wants to go help Denise, right? And then Rosita says, Morgan and Carol need us until they wake up. And then as we're sitting there and they're talking, Carol and Morgan start waking up.
Now, the part of that I liked was the part where Carol and Morgan are kind of talking, And Carol goes, I should have killed you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Now, this, and moms may have caught this because usually moms and Jason catch this stuff. Did he say you still can, or did he say you can't?
You can't.
You can't. Okay. I knew one of y'all would catch that. How about Denise and the bad guy? I don't even know the wolf's name. Do y'all know the wolf character's name?
They just called him Wolf.
Main wolf.
W man.
Okay.
He should have kept his accent. It would have looked like 10 times better in the show.
Yeah, because when we watched the Talking Dead, he's actually from like Australia, so he's got an Aussie accent. It would have played a lot better to his character, I think.
Right?
But I'm sorry they
No,
killed
there's
him.
going to
I
be
kinda
people
grew on
from
him.
other countries get stuck in our country at some point. I mean, if something like that major happened, you know.
And where was then the church? Okay, then we got Denise and the bad guy, right? And Denise was making me so nervous. She was struggling to breathe, right? Glenn and Enid, where the heck is that church they went to? Does anybody know where? Have we been in that church before?
I think it was outside.
They've got a church in the community, but
It's a garage.
no, there's a church in the community, but Gabriel doesn't use it. He made his own little church in his garage.
I thought they was going to that old church.
Me too, Magnus. So I was like, I've never seen this church before. I was like, how far? That church is far. So then I think Glenn said, this is where Nick, and then whatever the son's name who's dead, who was Deanna's first son who went on runs,
Aaron.
where they used to rest up in. So that's why he was looking for the Bible Glock, as Enid called it.
That makes sense.
Okay, because I was like, why? I just hadn't seen that church. Maybe it's outside the walls, clearly.
Yeah, because they were trying to figure out how to get there, because they were up on the fence at the end of the last one. They were on a building or something across the way and saw her, and remember Glenn and Maggie waved at each other and were so happy to see each other alive and everything, and then she ended up barely getting up on top of that whenever that part of that building fell down onto the fence, and the zombies started coming.
Gotcha, that's right, and the ropes were breaking.
Yeah. So they were trying to figure out how to safely get over there to help, since all the zombies were there, trying to figure out how to get to her.
Okay, gosh, that was unreal.
Yeah.
And then they find the gun in a cigar box, and Enid finds it, didn't she?
Yeah.
Okay, that was weird. And then I like that she's insisting on going with him. And I know Moms and Jason and probably you, Oily, got Glenn's speech. I didn't quite understand his speech where the people that mattered to him were, Dale and Andrea, and then she only had her parents,
Well, I think they were talking about the how those people affected you and who to fight for as well. And Andrea, Dale, Tyrese, and everyone that he mentioned is who changed him in the way he is now, and what his Enid has just her parents. I think.
Well, apparently now she's got a Glenn and a Maggie.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because he broke through to her, which I haven't liked her character because she's kind of zombie-like and just, there's not a smile, there's not a frown. It's the same face all the time,
Who?
Maggie.
Oh.
Enid.
Oh, Enid?
Yeah, she's just kind of like a long horse face. She's so damaged.
Yeah, she just seems odd. Very introverted. I think she's had to depend on herself for so long. She can't really trust anyone, so I think she's kind of blocked herself as far as emotionally from feeling anything, pretty much,
Yeah, I guess.
That's why to me it was so poignant when she was looking up at that scripture on the wall in there. Faith without works is dead. James 2:6, I think.
Yeah,
So
2 James. Yep, that was moving. It really was.
yeah.
Now, how about when Sam starts to lose it and they're trying to whisper to him? Even Ron's trying to help his little brother, who I didn't know Ron knew Sam existed.
I know,
And
really.
and the zombie gets him. That was so beautiful because I've wanted that kid to die for some time, which is it's only a movie. I don't hate children. I'm just allergic to them. And I was getting tired of the dark circles under the eye and the general weirdness of him, right?
Yeah.
But God, when it took him out. Go ahead, Jace.
Even the music that he plays.
Oh, tiptoe through the tulips. I lost brain cells in that episode. And she told him turn it off. He didn't. Nobody else yelled turn it off like Rick would have, thrown that record player through a wall and said, what part of quiet don't you get? And Deanna's dying. It was terrible.
Worse than Carl.
He's a little weirdo.
Even when they were putting the zombies on him, it was still playing.
Yes. It was just going. And I love the slow kind of everything went wonky with the sound on it, and it was almost slow motion that we watched him get eaten, and then they take Jessie out and Rick is flashbacking to when he first met her and she was so cute. I'm very happy he doesn't have a love interest, but she was so brave. Remember, if it wasn't for her coming out with the gun from her house when the tower fell in, they wouldn't have had anywhere to go, and she yelled, I have Judith.
It was in the comics. It was actually Ron that got eaten first, and then she got eaten, and then they did the same thing with hacking off the hand because it was just holding on.
Yeah. Now, whose hand was that? Was that Jesse's hand?
Yeah, Jesse's.
Okay. And when Carl goes, Dad, and that was the first time I've really ever seen Carl afraid, was when that, he couldn't move because of that hand. I really hadn't seen fear in that kid, because he's gone a little bit hardcore.
That almost rape scene from when they're on the road.
Yeah.
Oh, that was that was horrible. I was like, oh my God, it's Deliverance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
like seeing Sam get eaten, though. I mean, he just kind of got engulfed.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was freaking beautiful. And then he's screaming,
But it took the walker so long to turn to, try to kill him. And, Jesse sitting there screaming at the top of her lungs, Sam, Sam! And I'm sitting there going, how long does it decide to eat you?
Yeah.
And I love that even though Rick was reminiscing about meeting her, he didn't rush in. He's still not willing to die and take himself away from his group and, more importantly, Carl. Because that took great restraint, right? But the zombies would have been on all of them if he had.
Yeah, but in his moment of terrible sadness that he is losing the next girl that he loved, he had the brains to chop off her hand to save his son.
Oh, and the way he pulled that hatchet out in slow motion, oh my God, and had to do it like twice to cut her hand off?
Oh, yeah.
That's called dedication, right yonder.
Yes, that is, Magnus. That is dedication. The true sign of love is when your daddy whoops out a hatchet and hacks off his woman's arm.
Don't you worry, Magnus. I'll do the same for you someday.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Ooh, and then Evil Ron, who that was because this all started because Ron, right? The zombies coming in the house, being in the garage with Carl.
Yep.
And then Carl not admitting to his dad what happened. It was like it was all cool, right? And then they're invaded into the house with the zombies because he was attacking Carl. It was very Glenn of Carl to give Ron another chance, and then we get you. And then, oh my God, Carl drops to the ground after saying Dad, having a seizure with his eye blown out.
Yeah, but Michonne, You know, he probably would have shot Rick, killed. You know, I don't know if he's a horrible shot, but Michonne stabbing Ron through the back, through his heart and everything. She didn't even hesitate. I mean, just you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't really hesitate with the walker she had on the chains.
Yeah.
Oh, and this was the first time I've ever seen Michonne emotional, but I love, like, they're such a unit that the minute Rick scoops up Carl, and they explained on Talking Dead that, of course, that was a dummy, you know, with a mask, because how far he had to run with Carl, and she's just laying him down with her, katana, her sword, in front of her, but her face was so pained, you know what I mean, that
Yeah.
they just knew where they were going. We're going to the infirmary. Like, they don't even have to talk to each other.
Yeah. And that she grew real close to Carl, remember, you know, because when he was going through that hard time and she had been so closed off, and then she opened up to him about her family, about her child, losing her child and stuff. Do you remember that?
Yes, yep. And that's when Rick was exhausted, yep, and she's walking around with him in that town. Oh, I do remember.
Yeah,
One
and so her
question
and
per
Carl
room.
they became really close. They'd go out on runs together. You know, they were buddies. They shared, you know, they looked for each other's favorite stuff when they went out on runs, and you know, shared if they found chocolate or whatever, shared with each other and stuff. And so, you know, they had grown real close, and she was like either a motherly figure or a big sister type figure, you know, to Carl, I think. So.
Yeah, I think it was more of a surrogate mom type deal.
Yeah.
Because she couldn't feel anymore, you know, sort of like Enid after all she'd been through. But you're right. Yeah, I remember. And I remember Rick thanking her for making Carl laugh because he hadn't heard him laugh, and he couldn't remember when he heard him laugh last.
Well, if you'll remember back in the episode where she found him after they had left the prison, when she walked up on the porch, she broke down crying because she'd found him.
That's right. Yes, when she looked through the door and saw them.
That's her family now.
Yes, that's her peeps, because she was just out there alone. And thank God she was, or Andrea would have been dead. That was the greatest scene ever. Her with the backlight of the moon, standing there with her two zombies on the chains, and she saves Andrea.
There's been so many times they've been stuck in situations, and I couldn't understand why they didn't just do the same thing Michonne did.
Yes.
You know, and chop off their arms and break their jaws and lead them around to lead through crowds.
Yep. Andrea kind of sort of did it, but she did it weird, remember, making her way from the governor to the prison, pushing the guy in front of her with the stick and the thing around his neck. But I'm with you. Thought that when they were getting the zombies, I thought that's what they would do. When Rick says, I get this one, Michonne, you get that one, we'll need at least two. I thought the same thing, that they would do that instead of cover themselves in the guts.
Yeah, that's what I figured they would do. It would have been the smart thing to do if everybody had a zombie that they led.
Yes.
If they were being consistent, then they could have done that, you know.
Yep. Ooh, and then how about when we get back to Morgan's group, right, in the house, and Eugene, you know, the hair game, sooner or later, we're going to fight, we'll be fighting our way out of here. And oh my God, the girl got so irritated. I think that was Rosita. Not you, Eugene, not you.
We know you're not going to do it. You coward.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't know if it was after that, but it was talking about someday people are going to be talking about this day, and I need to be here for it.
Ain't nobody opting out today. Yes, it was going to be history. Eugene had some epic lines. He was not Daryl thugging it out, but he was deep this episode, you know. But Rosita just had the glow butt. I mean, she was mad.
Well, see, I get Eugene. He's a bit of a coward. He doesn't really want to fight. I get him. But when push comes to shove and he has to, he's there because he saved what was her name, Tara? Denise's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yes.
He saved her. So when push comes to shove and he has to, he will step up to the plate and say, no, I'm here.
Yeah, and they were standing there whenever they decided to go out and help fight. What interested me was, at first they were talking about how at some point they're going to have to fight. It's going to come down to it, and they're going to have to go out and fight. And they right before that they were talking about, it's going to work out. It's all going to work out. So that was the faith thing. And then when they decided to go out, that scripture came back to me, faith without works is dead, because, you can believe all you want, but if you don't help to work to make it happen, it's going to be more likely to come to fruition if everybody goes out there and works together to make it happen, So
You are
that
spot on.
it just jumped back at me whenever they decided to go out and they started blazing out a trail through them.
Oh my God, when that first couple who I've seen her before, but they were like looking down from upstairs and they looked at each other, you knew they were going out there, and I thought, do they have a machete? And they went out there blazing. How about when the wolf guy tells Denise, they're going to make it to the tower, and then they're going to go up, and he goes back to help her.
Yeah, I was really kind of surprised by that. I figured he'd well, she's zombie food, and go on.
Yeah, because at this point, he didn't need a doctor anymore. He'd already gotten the RV. He could have found antibiotics, you know what I mean?
I think it was more he was enamored by her,
It was a crush. See, I felt the chemistry because she was feeling that dirty boy, too, with bad teeth.
Oh.
Well, she kind of stood up to him. At first she kind of cowered to him, and then all of a sudden when he smarted off at her when they were hiding in that little recess or whatever you call it,
yeah,
she's like, well, we kind of killed all y'all.
Oh, she had some epic lines. Oh, you mean the ones we killed? Yeah, when he was like, my friends, we should have waited. Oh, you mean the ones we killed? We fought. He said you didn't fight.
He's talking about he's selfish, and then it's like, if I wasn't selfish, I wouldn't have done that IV in my system.
Yes, I would have waited and watched, like they could have taken him out for him. How about when they're running and he's helping her, and boom, he gets shot. Carol up from the balcony yelling, "Go, Denise, go!" Oh my God, it was awesome.
They attack him with the walkers. So I think he kind of redeemed himself, but you still don't really trust him.
Yeah, you couldn't never trust him because, he would have eventually went back and go, who can I turn?
Yeah. Now go ahead, Jace.
I think on Talking Dead they're talking about he wanted the challenge of trying to change her.
Yes.
So that's why he kind of kept her around, because he wanted to change her to a wolf and probably, most likely, be with her.
Ew. God, the
but
thought of him.
Wasn't it so awesome though? Whenever, Denise is gonna help him, and all of a sudden that bullet comes flying out of nowhere and kills him. I was like, oh yes! And you look up and Carol's on the balcony.
Yes.
Oh, I loved it. I was like, it's so Carol. Like, I had no compassion. Put him down, man. Put him down like a dog.
Yeah, and she did. She laid him out like the scrounge. And then, how about Denise makes it to the infirmary? She then looks out and knows instinctively, here's Michonne, Rick carrying Carl, and whatever Deanna's old living son said, has he been bit? And she went, no. And she immediately gives orders. Get me rags, get me towels, get me this, get me that, get the gurney. She totally became a doctor, did she not?
Yeah.
And they're all doing exactly what she said.
She had to be. See?
And they flipped the light on. When they flipped the light on, she's like, who was it, Rick or somebody said, that's going to draw the walkers.
Yes.
And he had no hesitation about it. He was going to save his son, so he walks out and pulls out his little hatchet again.
Yep.
And everybody kind of figured out, oh, dang, we're going to have to go out and kill these walkers.
Now, I initially thought Rick has had a total breakdown because he thinks Carl has been shot in the eye and, and he's got a bullet in his brain instead of what we learned on the over-caffeinated Chris Hardwick chat that, the bullet hit the occipital bone. It was just shrapnel in his eye.
Yeah.
So I thought he went out there to kill himself. That's what I thought Rick did, was it's over. You know what I mean? And then Michonne is stuck helping Denise, and she's either holding down Carl's head or petting it or whatever, right? And she's telling her, hurry up, I've got to go out and help Rick. And I thought, oh my God, now my Michonne is going to die. What the heckle?
I think the way that Rick responded was the exact same way when Louie died. And
Where he broke down?
Yeah, broke down, just killed a whole bunch of walkers. But he still got a whole cell block done. And look what he did now. So
Right.
It's just a push that he needs.
And then what shocked me, Michonne runs out, and the other cat, I forget, who is the ponytailed guy with the braids? What's his name? I like him.
The black dude?
Yes.
I don't know. Shoot, he had that whole conversation with Eugene.
Yes, at the gate, and introduced himself that time, and because Eugene respected the hair game.
Yeah.
And he didn't hesitate to go out, right? And said, this is our moment, because and I remember him looking at himself in the water, where Michonne had said, when you're covered in blood, you don't know if it's yours, you don't know if it's friends, you don't know if it's walkers.
His name is Corey.
Corey, thank you, Mom.
No, that's his real name.
Are you still getting feedback from me?
Yep.
All right.
Darn it.
But he went running out there to help him, to fight. And then Rick, when he sees him, he looks like elated, and he goes, we can beat him, we can beat him. And I'm like, and then they make a formation like they'd been doing it forever. Remember how when Sasha ran into Maggie again, and they immediately put their backs to each other and start taking out walkers?
Yeah.
And these people had been watching them with what they do. You know how Rick, I didn't have faith in any of these townspeople, but they fell into formation and were wailing. I was like, please God, don't let anybody's bat, hatchet, or knife break.
Well, it's kind of interesting that the guy that was going out with Daryl, he didn't hesitate, but Spencer hesitated. He didn't really want to go out there.
Spencer,
Yeah.
That's it, to Corey, when Corey said, this is our moment, this is our time. Yes.
But, the other guy with Daryl that always went out with Daryl, hunting new people, he didn't really hesitate. He was kind of out there.
And where the heck is Aaron? Because I love him and his little boyfriend, remember, who had the broken ankle? Where the heck is he?
Wasn't he the one in the plaid shirt that went out with Corey and Spencer?
That's what I could. Oh, Oily fell down. That's what I could not tell when they were all at the porch sitting after with hundreds of walkers laying dead in the street. I couldn't tell if that was Aaron or not.
To me, it looked like him.
What do you think, Jason?
No, I'm not sure. I'm still trying to find the other. I know it's not. His name isn't really Corey, because that's his real name. The actor's name.
Now, how about the Rev and Judith in the garage? She starts to cry. He hands them to one of the ladies praying. And then he says, God has given us the courage, we've all been praying, to save our town. And then he walks out to go fight. I was like doing the Jersey fist pump like 25 times through this episode. From Daryl with the RPG, the Reverend got down with it.
Look, just to start with the fact that he got Judith there safely, it was amazing.
Yep.
I figured he would have dropped her and used her for bait so he could get away.
Thank you. Yeah, he just stepped up. And then here's the line that, Jason, we liked. Eugene said, no one gets to clock out today. It's a story people will tell. And he was hammering on walkers out there. Eugene was fighting like kung fu. He
held his own.
Yep. Now, I didn't quite get, Jason, you might have got this. I know Moms did, probably Oily. when Morgan sees his wolf guy, you know, the wolf with the bad teeth, Denise's new boyfriend, right? Because remember, Morgan didn't want to kill anybody. All life is precious. And then he says, I'm sorry. And I'm like, Morgan, you're so responsible for so much stuff. So I was glad to see he was able to stick him and not leave him a zombie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like
But-
a mercy.
I think
Yeah.
it would have been more poetic justice if he had bit Morgan.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was hoping was going to happen. He'd lunge and bite him in the ankle or something. But just what you said, a mercy killing Jason. Morgan has got to get the ability to kill, because Carol's right. He's doing stuff for himself, not the group. Like keeping the wolf in that basement, putting them all in danger, getting Denise taken. You know, all those things are his responsibility. And somebody said in the outside chat, you know, he's got to go out there. You know, he needs to go out there by himself. Morgan does again.
Well, but another thing was, hopefully, maybe in that moment, Morgan realized, I don't think it got through his thick head, but I have a little glimmer of hope in me that possibly he learned his lesson by seeing, like, what he helped cause, and then it was for nothing. But I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I
I hope
doubt
so
it.
too. I hope so, Oily, because he went out there and fought with them as a group.
Yeah.
You know, so you could be spot on. You know what I mean? And then we go to Maggie on the tower that is rocking people. First, the ladder rope was rotten, like, because they don't check nothing there, right? Because they've had all these walkers in a quarry. Just geographically, this town of stupid people was protected. And then Enid, right? Glenn takes off shooting, drawing. Now he is trapped at the freaking wall. I love how Enid gets up there and she starts putting all the stuff in the church. She's making a rope, like, you know, was her plan to get Maggie down from there. And I thought, Glenn is dying and Maggie's watching it, right? And then with the Tommy guns, I was like, what the heck just happened?
I
Yeah,
thought Glenn was dead.
And I was
You thought
pretty
he-
sure they were going to kill Glenn off there. I was thinking,
Do another
okay,
fake out.
you know, I was kind of thinking that that's what they would do. You know, they go through everything and end up finally seeing that each other's alive, and I was like, okay, now they'll kill him off, you know,
Yes.
or kill her off, one or the other.
No,
And,
no, they cannot kill Glenn that way. Everybody that reads the graphic novels is waiting to see his head bashed in with that dang baseball bat.
oh
with
yeah,
with barbed wire wrapped around it by Negan. But this
oh
it
my
blew
gosh,
my
yeah,
mind.
that's probably true too. But
Now, go ahead.
oh, but I was just gonna say, but then whenever, you know, they were all surrounding him, I thought, okay, this is it, you know, because like I said, I haven't read the graphic novels, so that was just what was going through my head. Okay,
Right.
they're gonna off him now, you know, while she's watching, but at least she would know, at least she'd have closure.
Yes.
But
And him too.
then all of a sudden the bullets start flying, and I was like, what?
And nobody's a better shot than Sasha with that, right? If she would have been in the tower where Spencer was on the night that the wolves broke in and were killing everybody,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think that truck would have hit it. But this is what I got confused on. Abe and Sasha are on the top, and of course, Abe makes a joke. And all I heard was appreciate it, pal. But I think he said to Glenn, would you mind getting the gate? Appreciate it, pal. But how in the heck did Glenn not get shot to heck with all those bullets flying?
I think he was thinking the same thing. How in the heck did y'all not hit me too?
And he completely cowered. Remember, he was up against the
Oh,
wall
yeah.
with his hands over his head. It was crazy. Oh,
Like some type
And then-
of hollow point or something, so it doesn't go all the way through the walker.
right. And then I love the scene, right? Somebody's in the truck. They're up there helping Maggie get on top of the truck with Enid. They're immediately back to being a team again, like they hadn't been apart. Like, you
Right.
know, they just operate together.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it amazes me that Enid actually was going to try to save Maggie. You know,
Yes.
oh, I mean, you know, she's wanting to run away anyway. Looked like Glenn was going to die.
Yes.
She could have just
Yeah.
bolted and been on her own. No, she actually was trying to save Maggie.
She insisted on going with Glenn. Just what Oily said from reading that 2 James scripture, right? And just what you said, it's now going to be those two with Enid. You know what I mean? They're going to be a crew. But it was very moving. Then I liked how Glenn gets in the truck and tells Daryl, we got to lead him away. And Daryl said, nope, we got to go bigger or something like that. You know what I mean?
All at once.
Yes. Yeah, that was it. Got to take them all at once. And then here's the irony. Remember Finding Patty with the crazy people, right?
Yeah.
Who rode off on Daryl's motorcycle, left him with nothing.
Oh,
And then it was, diesel fuel. And he goes and opens it on the pond, knowing that it's got to be big and it'll lead the walkers to it. And again, he's standing on top of that roof of that truck from the back, looking sexy as all get out, make a woman want to bang him in the road, you know?
Now, I know you loved it because now you know he can fire his rocket twice in a day.
Yes! And it's a long rocket, Tommy. Yep.
He was posing for it as well.
Yes, he was. And it was and what I love is they don't have to talk about it. You know, Rick tries to overtalk things, so he didn't go, hey, Abe, I think we ought to do this. They just are able to act, right? I'm in the truck. Nobody has to have a big discussion and a democratic discussion of what do you think of this. I was wondering if he was going to, when he pulled the hose back, I thought, is he going to drive the truck, then light it on fire? That made no sense. I would have never, ever thought to lay it on top of the pond water.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought that they were going to try to, like, he would get up on top of the truck or they would do something to, like, hit the truck with rocks or something to lure the walkers over there and then explode it after they all kind of surrounded it or something. That's what I was thinking they was going to do.
Right.
But the fire thing, and the walkers just walked right into the water that was on fire. It was great.
And got flaming walkers.
Oh, yeah, and that's one thing, because we saw that dumb crew. They thought everybody was fighting them, and they lit the woods on fire, and the walkers just lived. But I loved how Rick's crew, as they see them all, because they remember getting ready to get pinned up against the wall, Rick's crew, and he was yelling, get back, and Daryl stepped in just in time. As the walkers are walking to the fire, because they know they're going to walk through it on fire, they're hitting them in the back of the head, and they're still killing them all the way to the pond.
Yeah.
They didn't stop. But I cannot imagine being Daryl after what they've just been through. You come back, you find Alexandria has fallen, and that you can act so calmly and go, hang on, I'm going to put this diesel fuel on top of the pond and light it on fire. And Abe, he's got a sense of humor through the end of the world happening, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can't laugh at 100,000 walkers, just kind of stormed your town, what can you laugh at? I mean,
exactly. Yeah. Abe's like me. He was just built for a good time. I mean, that's it. And then I loved.
Mouse doesn't sound right.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That was built for fun. I just wanted to. Yeah. Oh my. Okay. That went bad for. Things go bad for me sometimes. Magnus, that's not what I meant. Jason, that's not what I meant. And then I loved them sitting on the porch exhausted and all those zombies. They killed them all. It was amazing. Then we open it. I've never seen Michonne hold Judith. And she was holding Judith there.
Well, she did in the third season, but when they're in the prison.
Because it was hard for her. Yes, that's right. This, she looked comfortable. And then there's my Daryl, and Denise is sewing up his back, remember? Because remember what Denise said to Tara and Eugene once? That, what was Jesse's husband's name? The one Rick had to kill? Ron's dad, Sam's dad.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
The Dr. Turd. And he said, yeah, he didn't want me here. And she became a doctor on that day. You know? Pete. Thank you, Moms.
Yeah, Pete.
And then Rick's sitting there holding Carl's hand, right? And he tells him he was wrong. He didn't think that community could learn, and they did. Deanna was right. If we work together, we can not only build a wall, we can expand it. It's all possible. That was very moving. And then Carl squeezed his hand. I cried almost, but not all the way. Yep.
But I think Michonne in it, where Deanna in the last episode told her, you got to find what, holds you down.
What you want. Yes, what do you want?
I think that's it, though. I think she wants Rick's family. She loves Rick's family.
Well, and remember when they were at the place with Noah, Michonne wanted to stay there. Why can't we stay here? We can build the wall. Michonne is looking for a place. Like, wasn't it Sasha? One of them wanted, we need to get a place. We just can't stay on the move. Michonne wants a place.
Yeah. I think what it is she wants that stability of, it's their own place, and that's her family, because, she lost her family.
Yes.
And the way they played it, she really loved her family. So, because she kept the two walkers, I think the two walkers were her, I can't remember what they were, boyfriend or his best friend or something.
It was her fiance and his brother. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, the best friend of that fiance.
Okay.
But she kept them as, her pet walkers, as they called them.
Yeah.
So
every time I see that little Judith, I think she's the prettiest little baby. She's so sweet.
She's funny looking, isn't she? I like what Stan said in the YouTube. He's glad Michonne acted quick and skewered that little turd, Ron. Just too bad it was too late for Carl. You know what I mean? But Ron was such a... Jesse had... To me, this is the definition of what an abuser does to a whole family. Jesse couldn't think logically. Ron was broken. Sam was broken. Ron was the most effective when Jesse stood in the kitchen and said, "Raise your left arm, Ron." And she said, "You can't, right? I know you can't because your dad, right? That he was not a good person." But it is their dysfunction is the definition of what an abuser does to the people left. They have an egg beater in their brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It so badly damages them. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, like Dr. Phil says, it writes on the slate of who you are, and it programs you differently. You can't undo. It takes a lot of work to undo that.
Oh yeah, and I
never
mean,
completely be undone.
It's just like the violence when children see the mother abused. They have proven that violence and watching it breaks a connection in their brain because children can't process it. Their brain isn't fully developed, and that just shows you the irrationality of Ron. And after Carl lets him live, right, and tells him, "Yeah, I get it. My dad killed yours, but your dad was a jerk because your dad killed somebody too. Remember, he killed Deanna's husband?"
Yeah.
And Ron could not rationalize that, so he wanted to kill Carl and then kill Rick. It's like, dude, your dad was a jerk. He refused to get it, and I was thrilled when he got 8. Thrilled out of my mind.
Yeah, he was a like psychotic, He really it totally screwed him up. He was one of those that would have, if he'd have started killing, he would have kept on because he would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, and that's what I like that Rick and Carol particularly immediately recognized about Pete when Rick confronted Deanna about Pete, and she said, "But he's our surgeon." And Rick knew immediately, you have a killer behind these walls. You have an abuser behind these walls. Your walls are no good if you're locking in people who are endangering you. And just what you said, and it passed on to Ron. Yep, so.
But they kind of did that with Morgan, too. I mean, they may like Morgan, but he endangered them, too,
Well, they don't know that right now.
But Carol knew. See, Carol knew something was going on. Nobody has an intuition like Carol. Remember, and that was the other thing. Carol, following Morgan, she gave Judith to Jessie, right? I know you watched her this morning. Would you mind? I have to go to the wall. Instead, she followed Morgan. Everything happens for a reason, but the Carol has a brilliant diabolical mind. When she can smell poop coming down, she knows when it's just starting to smolder.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
As Morgan said, she's always watching.
Yes, yeah, he nailed her, didn't he, Jason, when he said,
Yeah.
"You're always watching," and she goes, "Aren't you sweet?" That was brilliant. This episode could not have been better, but I'm glad we're not back out on the road again, right? And that even Rick is like, we'll make the wall bigger and better, and all the townspeople now are a unit, and they know how to fight.
Yeah, but I think this was the little Walker invasion. There's a bigger one coming.
Tommy, why you gotta be so mean and negative? Oh my God, that just makes my heart sink. It can't get bigger. They can't kill one in the street.
Oh,
Okay, Tommy, if the bigger one comes, you better not talk about my Daryl dying. That's all I gotta say to you.
one of the fellows out, I can't remember which one it was, if it was Fuzz or Rick or whoever it was, had said that they're going to need some bulldozers to clear off all of the dead zombies in the street from that.
They need Morgan to drag them out one at a time and set his fire piles. Remember how you used to do that? Drag them off the stick?
Yeah.
But
Forgot
yeah,
about
I thought the same thing. I said, we need a front loader to come through. Because, man, and then Sasha will go lay on the pile up. But Sasha's healed. Now are we going to get a romance between Sasha and Abe? Because he can tell. Remember, a man can tell.
Yeah.
Well, you still got Rosalita in this now. She's still there with Abraham somehow.
But they're just banging buddies. They're just banging buddies.
But didn't you see Spencer and Rosita kind of tagging along a little bit? Deanna's son.
No, only because Rosita is so strong that'd be like child molestation, in my opinion, because Spencer's a little bit stunted. You know, he's tall and he looks like a man, but Rosita's more man than him. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because think about who can handle Rosita. She's like a little Spanish pistol, man. But
I'd like the
Eugene,
chance to handle Rosita.
Eugene taught her a lesson, didn't he?
Now that's her, man. Eugene.
Yeah, but she'll cut that mullet off, and I'd be glad to see that mullet go.
Because, you know, I don't know, just the odd mix between them two seems kind of cool.
So when do you think that we'll actually see Negan? One of the guys out in the chat was saying that they thought that it would be at the season finale. This season finale, that's when they'll see Negan for the first time.
We still got to see the hilltop, a little apartment place that they have.
I'm thinking, remember the previews, Rick and Daryl going out? They know that whoever that motorcycle gang belonged to, and that's what Stan Ulch is talking about, right? How big is that group? Because they're going to know living people took their people out. So are they going to go hunt them down, right, to try, because they know it's not just the walkers you have to keep out. That's a pretty thuggish group, because they take everything from somebody. They were going to kill our Sasha and Abe.
Well, what if they run into Dwight again, the one that took his crossbow and his bike?
Say that again?
What if Daryl and Rick run into Dwight, the one that took Daryl's bike and crossbow?
Oh my God, yes, the girl and boy, right, with the idiot who fell onto the walkers encased in glass.
Yes.
Right. Oh, and chopped their arm off. Yeah, when they got bit. All right, it's 10 o'clock, Tommy. We got to bounce.
All right.
Next
Monday, people. We'll be back.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Wait a minute. Let's find the little red button now.